of the development of tips and save. Okay, the part 1, like literally my memory card is literally on fire. I'm using another memory card, so yeah.
Blue blobs. So I made a bullet model, put some of that sweet glow in there, and also made some bullet explosion using Unity's particle. And here you can see the new So if you want to play this garbage game for yourself, make sure to wishlist it on Steam right now, slappers, to get notified whenever it comes out. That's all I have for this episode though. Make sure you smash subscribe for more Billy videos. Useful insight. Karlson. Why you don't try make a 3D game? Or you can't do that? It's been 3 months since Jotaro said I couldn't make a 3D game, and I set out to prove him wrong. But, well, he was kind of right. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing at this point, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. So I put my game on Steam, and it's currently around the top 50 most wishlisted game on Steam, which is insane and also really stupid. So there's really no going back at this point, and if I don't finish this, I'm f***ed. So let's get to work. In the last episode we made a little robot friend called Billy. He's completely and utterly useless, but kind of cute. That's also what my mom says about me, but without the cute part, so just completely and utterly useless. Anyway, we're gonna start off this episode by making a new pistol model, because the old one is literally just 2 squares stacked on top of each other, and when Roblox Boy69 tells you that your pistol model looks like it's probably time to change it up. So this new one I made has at least like 5 squares or something, which is like twice as good as the old one. And here it is in game. I even added animations to the pistol, and those little empty bullet things that fly to the side of the gun when you shoot. Yeah, I know how weapons work, duh. Next up on my modeling list is a new enemy, because currently the only enemy in the game is this dude, and I mean, I don't think I need to explain why we need a new one. But he do be looking kinda thick though. And in the previous episode we made our little robot friend Billy. Oh, catch! That's totally lava. So we're gonna make a robot enemy as well. Now since I still suck at making 3D models, I'm just gonna go ahead and like stack 3 cubes on top of each other, and yeah, I mean, kinda looks like a robot. So I slapped him into the game, and here he is in action. He might look a bit tame right now, but don't be fooled. If you as much as touch his toe, he's gonna wake up and murder you and your entire family. Remember, this is a killer robot you're looking at here. And so I gave him an angry face and did some quick animations, and he will now chase us around the map. Then I made a quick little test map and a couple of robot clones and had an epic battle with them. Now this clip would probably be impressive if their bullets could actually damage me, which they can't, because I don't like losing, and therefore I turned off the damage on the player. Yeah, f*** you robots, you dumbasses. Anyway, a lot of you weebs want me to give Karlson a katana, so you can do melee attacks and slice enemies, which is actually a pretty good idea. And most FPS games have some sort of melee attack, whether that be Doom's chainsaw or GoldenEye's bitch slap. Yeah, you could literally slap the f***ing life out of people in GoldenEye. It was pretty golden. It's funny, because it's called Golden Eye, and I said gold. Okay, so I'm not gonna have something as iconic as slapping the shit out of your enemies, but instead I made a katana model to please all of my weebs out there. But hear me out, it's not just any katana, it's a katana laser grappler gun thing. Now you might be asking, what the f***? And yeah, you're absolutely right, I ask myself that every day too. So first I added some slice animations. Shop shop. Now it does look really bad, so I added some trails to hide the bad animations, and ta-da, it looks kinda sick. Even though the animations are absolutely garbage. Just like my coding skills. I also made the gun duck whenever you slice, so you don't slice your own gun, because that's not a very good idea. And then I made some particles using Unity's particle system. Now the Unity particle system is actually super versatile and you can do just about anything with it. Next week I'm actually planning on curing my crippling depression using Unity's particle system, so stay tuned for that. Might even make a tutorial about it on my tutorial channel. Anyway, here is how the katana looks so far. It goes shop shop and enemy goes bye bye, if you catch my drift. Smash like now if that makes you go, wow, that was really cool. But remember that this is not just any katana, it's the ultimate grappling katana. So now you can use the backside to swing around with it. I also made it so you can grapple onto enemies, so here's another clip, which is, I totally didn't spend hours trying to record this, what do you mean, don't judge me. It's still a bit rough though, but it's pretty fun and the movement feels much better now as you have many more options. And also performing a shop shop on the enemies is just super satisfying. So, do you remember how we just spent a lot of time putting together these new robot enemies? Yeah, me too, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Now the reason I had to yeet the new enemy is because, well, they suck. If you remember 3 episodes ago, I said, physics make me go yes. And this guy is clearly not physics, so he makes me go no. Therefore we need to make the enemies more like Billy, so we can push them around and they're actually interactable. So I did a bunch of boring code which nobody cares about, get it out of here! And basically this is just inverse kinematics. So instead of having to animate the robots, they will just walk by themselves and I don't have to do anything, which is great. Now if you forgot what inverse kinematics are, here's a recap from my previous video. Now if you don't know what inverse kinematics are, it's basically just kinematics, but inverse. Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, inverse kinematics are great. Just look how great that is. Wow, good job me. So I fixed it and well, then he wanted to show me the dance of his people, and I'm not gonna lie, this boy got some moves. Some might even say he'd be looking kinda thick. Now his legs are kind of like jelly right now, and clearly this boy is in need of some calcium. So I got me some fresh milk to clear my head, and I did a bunch more boring code. Get out of here! And just like that, he's now really good at balancing. I said, just like that, he's now really good at balancing. Easy peasy. And when I say he's really good at balancing, I mean he's terrible at balancing. It was ironic. He's out here looking like my weak ass after 1 drink. Guys, this is literally me and the boys at 2 AM after drinking too much milk. Am I right, gamers? Smash like if this is also you and the boys after drinking too much milk. And finally, we need to give the robot some pathfinding. Now, if you don't know what pathfinding is, it's basically just finding paths. Yeah, so we can use it to make the robots find the shortest path to the player. But here is the problem. Unity's built-in pathfinding is not as versatile as their particle system, and it does not like physics. So if I try to use it, this is what happens. Now you should always remember the first rule of programming. Programming. Also remember the second rule, Danny is really dumb, so probably shouldn't listen to him, and also don't try this at home. Anyway, instead of finding a proper solution to the problem, I ended up finding a way to work around it, because that's how to be a good developer. So I just enabled the pathfinding, find a path, extract that path, and then disable the pathfinding again. This way, all of the boring stuff is being handled for me, I don't have to do anything complicated, which is great, and before my physics are ruined, I just turn off the pathfinding again. Now you might be saying, isn't this a terrible solution prone to error? Shut it, kiddo, nobody asked for your opinion. Go back to school. And once that was implemented, he will now follow the player around and can navigate properly. You can also tweak most of the values, so let's for example give him a lot of recoil and see what happens. So we now have a bunch of drunk robots walking around and falling all over the place, which is exactly what I wanted. And with all of the hard work out of the way, it's very easy to add new enemies now. So I made a big boy, which is basically just the normal enemies, but he's a big boy, so yeah. And to give the player more movement options, I made it so you can dash off the enemies when you're slicing them in the air. So for example, by holding back, you fly backwards, if you hold forward, you fly forwards, and if you hold to the right, yeah, you guessed it, you fly to the left. Now, when it comes to games and making them feel good to play, it's very important with feedback, which Karlson currently has very little of, especially considering you can't even take damage currently. So here's what I want to add. First off, just health and damage. Then I want to get some hit markers in the game, and finally some jump/landing feedback. A good example of this is Cluster Truck, where you really feel each landing and jump, generally achieved by smoothly moving the camera down when landing. So first I added an HP bar and a damage indicator, so whenever you take damage you can see where the damage came from. It's kind of hard to see, but there's like a red arrow in the middle of your screen whenever you get shot. Next up we have hit markers, where the color and the size will depend on what you hit. If it's for example a headshot, which is a critical damage, you'll get a yellow hit marker and twice the damage. And finally I added some offset to the camera whenever you land to give it more of that juicy impact. There's also some smoke popping up if you fall with a high enough speed. It still kinda needs some tweaking, but it's already feeling much better to play. Now, not to brag or anything, but since I'm such an amazing programmer, adding new enemies is really easy with my new and improved code. All I have to do is just scale up the enemy and we just suddenly have a working boss enemy. Dumbass robot, suck my big fat... Oh, you're his dad? Me and Larry were just playing, right, Larry? Yeah, it was... it's just a joke. Then Bacteria Slayer tweeted a picture at me, follow me on Twitter by the way, showing a milk bot, and I like milk, so let's test our new system out by just quickly adding this milk bot thing. So I made a very quick model, put an angry face on him, and there we go. Not sure if I'm actually gonna add this to the game, but the idea is pretty cool, and it goes to show that the code is kind of working at least, which is good. You know what most games have? A main menu. So, you know, you can actually interact with the game. Now, the old main menu of Karlson has been killed, so currently there is no menu in the game. Therefore, we should probably make one. So the first thing I did was put together a scene which will be the background of the menu. Then I added some buttons you can click because, you know what they say, button cool. And the only button that currently works is the endless one, which just takes you to an arena where you can fight infinite amounts of enemies, which is pretty useful for testing. Just kidding, that's a lie. I'm using that as an excuse because I just like to dunk on robots, because it's fun. And I think for the future it could be fun to turn this endless mode into a survival game mode kind of thing, where you get points for killing enemies and you can use them to buy weapons and other upgrades like double jump and speed and armor and whatever. But for now I first want to focus on the single player, but I think it would sort of work like a roguelike kind of thing, which would be cool. So if you want to play this game when it's done, make sure to smash that wishlist button on Steam right now, and let's try to get to top 40 on the Steam wishlist charts. I just find it really funny how we're in the top 50. There's so many like professional and good games, and then there's Karlson, this scuffed ass piece of shit game with like the worst store page the world has ever seen that I put together in like 5 minutes, and I haven't updated it in 2 months. Yet Karlson is in top 50 on Steam wishlist. Now the game is still lacking many things, one of which is music, and obviously I also want to add more maps for the single player, which we will do more of in the next video. So make sure you smash subscribe so you don't miss it, and I think making the maps is going to take a lot of time, especially considering level design is really tough and I have no previous experience with it, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But I'm spending a little time every day researching and practicing level design so that I can hopefully make some fun and interesting levels. I also always post updates on Twitter and our Discord server, Instagram, Facebook, so you know, check out the links in the description, boy. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I like your face, you're great. Smash like if you like and dislike if you don't. Also, Davey504.
Nice question. Do you like milk? I don't like milk.
I can't believe you would say such a thing, and I challenge you to a 1v1. Okay, that's it. Remember to drink milk, hit Billy, and beat your will. Oh, this is totally not suspicious. Oh, hey, Billy, what's up?
Let me introduce you to Billy's brother.
Oh, you have a brother, Billy? You never told me. Where is he? Where's that little guy hiding at? Oh, you know! It's time for Karlson Devlog episode 5. or 6, I can't remember, and I can't even count that high, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so far we've made guns, explosions, multiplayer, Billy, yellow dude guy, and much more. So now that we have all of the building blocks, it's finally time to make the maps and put the single player together. Oh, well, making maps is probably pretty easy, since you only need to do the easy... No, you. I haven't done anything other than baking lights the last 3 weeks, and I'm about to go insane. Oh, you're wondering what it means to bake a light? Usually you bake bread, right? Yeah, listen, I don't know either. Do I look like a rocket scientist to you? No, I'm Alright, let's go back 3 weeks and see how I slowly descended into madness. So all of the maps I've made for the game so far are just thick, chunky blocks. Kinda reminds me of your mom. So yeah, this is how I used to make maps. Block. Booga, 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 booga. Oh, big block. Long boy. No, stop it, Danny. You can't just place big blocks everywhere and call it a haha map. Do you see why this is a problem? So a cube has 6 sides. And previously what I did to make a room was I took our player. Yeah, our player is a Bluetooth adapter, deal with it. And I would put 6 cubes around the player. This is stupid. It's a mess because now we have 36 sides and your computer will die. So instead of that, we can just use a single cube. So you just open up the cube and you just mash the player inside of there like that. And are you following? I don't know where I'm going with this. Okay, I'll try and explain better. So look at this nice, comfortable room our player is inside. Now let's take a look on the outside. Oh, it's just made out of 6 cubes. What the fuck? So we can just delete all of those cubes and then we just like put our player inside of 1 cube. And then just go ahead and do some magic and kapow! Our player is now inside of the cube. It's sick! And we have the same room with only 1 cube instead of 6 cubes. Do you get it now? Oh, you're wondering why I have so many cubes? Because it makes me look smart. I don't know how to solve these things. So anyway, now that we have made this revolutionary caveman discovery, I did what any sensible person would do. Long story short, I found some really good tutorials by my man Gabriel Williams on how to use ProBuilder, which is the tool I'm going to be using for making maps. Boring! Shut up, nerd! And after watching like 2 of the 10-minute tutorials, I'm now practically an architect. Some might even say an expert in my field of interior architecture. So first I designed the general layout in Photoshop. Then I started putting shit together using ProBuilder, and here is the result. Instead of 50 giant cubes, we now have a simple interior map which looks and plays just a little better. Then I took a quick break and added a sick reload spin. Also make sure to wish this my game on Steam, gamers, okay? Do it now or I will hurt you. So I find it easier to make a sketch of the map on paper first, and when I say sketch, I mean a piece of shit, because I can't even draw a straight line. What the fuck is that? Anyway, all we do now is get this and then whoop-ha! Wow, look, we have a map, just like that. Woo. And that's how you make a map.
Safety is our #1 priority here, and you should be perfectly safe, as long as you don't fall in the lava. So why don't you try to perform some wall runs, Karlson?
Now, a lot of people are complaining about my terrible jokes in my videos, but just wait till you get your hands on this game. You little f***ers can never escape my jokes.
The next step should be pretty obvious, but take your sweet time. No pressure. Only pressure pads. Ha.
So if you've been following the last couple of episodes of this series, you would know I added a sword thing. But obviously you have to unlock it first, because that's just how games work. So I made a quick map, and when I say quick, I mean it took me 2 days because I have to bake so much goddamn luck. And then you can just do some sick parkour, grab the sword, unlock that bit, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay boys, so I've been making maps and baking lights for like 2 weeks straight now, and I want to die, and I thought I would show you what the map making process is like. So the first step is just to make a rough sketch of the map, which is, it's just a mess. I still can't draw, so this is really bad. Second step, make the very rough map interior. Third step, place a bunch of glass all over the map. Fourth step, enemies and obstacles and lava and boom boom. Fifth step, details. Sixth step, oh boy, it's time to bake some lights. Fuck! And now we move on to the 7th step, which is, you know, placing some props and cubes and cabinets and cameras, just making it look nice. 8th step, make it look thick. And of course the final step, Billy. And we're done. Man, making maps is fun. I really love it. It only took me like 3 days with no sleep. I wanna die. Now you're probably still a bit confused about what baked lighting actually means, and honestly I don't know either, so let's do some research. A light map is a data structure used in light mapping, a form of surface caching in which the brightness of surfaces in a virtual scene is pre-calculated and stored. You know what? F Wikipedia, you can suck my dick. Wait, wasn't this video about making a boss? Okay, so I found this cool fan art of Billy on my Discord server. You better join my Discord server. And we're just gonna yoink that idea and turn it into a boss for my game. Don't mind if I do, boy. So first I made the 3D model in Blender, and he's looking a bit flat, so I made him thick. Then I rigged him up, which is basically just to give him bones. And speaking of bones, I need some calcium. And here he is in game. He's a bit of a chunky boy, and I think I'm gonna call him Willy, since he's Billy's brother. Let's take him for a little test run and see if he works in game, and yeah, looks pretty... Wait, no, no. I fixed him up, and he's not drunk anymore, which it's a step in the right direction, I think. So now all we have to do is give him 3 different attacks. Pretty simple. First we just have to do a ton of stupid ass code. Then we make some particles using Unity's particle system. And boom, here's the first attack in action. It's like a minigun, pow pow something. I don't really know, but it shoots bullets. The second attack is just him shooting home-seeking missiles, which will follow you, so you have to run through his legs and make the missile hit him. And I mean, for any epic gamer like me, this is a pretty basic maneuver, I would say. But hey, that's just me. Maybe you're not an epic gamer like me, and that's fine. You know, I get it. You suck. And the final attack is a giant f***ing laser. To make this laser, I use Unity's particle system. Then I did some stupid code to allow for dynamic length of the laser depending on the distance, using a raycast to find boring, shut up nerd, sound effects. And that's how to make a death ray laser of doom of the United States of America. Yeah, freedom, bitch. Don't try this at home, kids. Then I made a pillar in Blender, which is, it's a cube. It's just a cube. I'm not a 3D modeler, okay? Stop just, And then I broke it into many pieces, which is cool, because now Willy can do this. Boom! But so far the boss fight is very easy, because you can just slice his legs. Chop chop. So therefore I gave him a shockwave attack to blast the player away. I also made a stun particle effect thing, using of course Unity's particle system, which means you can now temporarily stun him by making a rocket explode on him, and then you can hit his weak spot, which is on his back. Now that is an epic gamer moment if I've ever seen one. Smash like if that was epic gamers. If we can hit 1 million likes, I will literally drink milk. I'm not even joking. But I feel like we need to make the boss fight more dramatic, so I made a very dramatic map with some lava, baked lighting, and of course some black cinematic bars, because nothing screams cinematic more than 2 black bars. Am I right, gamers? In a world where black bars are totally dramatic and stuff. And here's the result of the totally dramatic boss battle.
Let me introduce you to Billy's brother.
So in the last video I said that the game needed some music, which was a big mistake, because literally every single one of you sent me your mixtapes on Twitter or whatever. And listen, I already had an artist before I said that. I never said I needed an artist. Stop sending me your mixtapes. So anyway, I hit up my boy and we got to work on some music. Check out his YouTube channel and SoundCloud, there are links down below. We still haven't really settled on the exact style of music yet, but here's a very early version of one of the tracks he's been working on. He also did some playtesting for the new Willy boss, and clearly you know, he's not an epic gamer like me, obviously, but nobody is. But I still got some good feedback from him, so yeah, you know, it's pretty good. One of the things I noticed when he played through the game though was that a lot of the time he didn't really know where to wall run, which again is understandable when you're not an epic gamer like me. But anyway, a lot of games have clear indicators of where you're supposed to go, like Mirror's Edge or whatever. You always know where you're supposed to wall run. So just to make it very clear for you idiots, I've now put a big ass arrow pretty much all over the map, so there's physically no way you can fail. Hopefully that satisfies all of you backseat baby gamers. Go drink some soy milk or something, you damn casuals. Get out of here. By the way, did I mention you should totally subscribe right now, slappers? Also check out my second channel, I've been posting some stuff there recently. Also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, MySpace, Club Penguin, RuneScape, you know the drill, gamers. Links down below. Also, if you want to play this game when it's finished, make sure you smash the second channel, then I'll see. Roses are red, violets are blue, hey Goomba, fuck you. It's time for Karlson Devlog, episode 7, I think. In the last episode, we learned how to make maps and bake lights, added a boss, and whatever this is. But this time, we're gonna make more maps, but we're also gonna add new weapons and make a trailer for the game.
Hello, Karlson.
Also, we're the 38 most wishlisted game on Steam, so make sure to smash wishes now, gamers. Karlson is currently at a point where I have a lot of mechanics done, like movement, wall running, weapons and enemies, but there's barely any gameplay because the story isn't complete and there are very few maps. So let's get to work on some story writing. So the plan so far is to have 4 chapters. Do I know what I'm doing? No, but do I know how to make a good story? No, absolutely not. I failed my classes at school. Anyway, so here's the story so far. Chapter 1, you were in the facility prison area. Chapter 2, you escaped. Chapter 3, you were suddenly on the rooftop, still escaping. Chapter 4, I'm out of ideas, so now you're in the f***ing sky. What's going on? I don't know. No, Danny, you can't just make a story without knowing what you're doing. Story go brrrr. So yeah, that's the basic story. I can't really go into more details because it would probably spoil the game, but there will definitely be some juicy Karlson lore. Anyway, since the story for chapter 1 is pretty much complete, I got to work on making maps and baking lights. And if you watched my last video, you know I don't like baking lights. Oh boy, it's time to bake some lights. So instead of spending 3 to 4 days on a single map, I decided to just make one map every single day without much detail or baked lighting to just speed up the process and rather add it later. So far I've made about 15 maps for chapter 1, but there will definitely be a few more. Currently though, you only run around with your katana, but eventually you reach a map where you unlock the pistol. I've also made sure to set up some very helpful tips. This way the player knows how to play the game. Shoot to shoot the pistol. Yeah, you're welcome. Speaking of the katana, whenever you're in the air and melee an enemy, you're launched up into the air, which is cool and all, but sometimes you don't really want that. So I've changed it up a bit, and it only launches you into the air if you press the melee button. Otherwise, you just slice through the enemies without being launched up. Another issue is that there is no vaulting in the game. If you run into an edge, you will smash your face into it and probably die of smashed face disease, which, make no mistake, is a very serious disease. Instead, we want the ability to just vault over the edge and keep going, because you don't want to end up with smashed face disease, because that's very bad. Now, most games usually stop your speed completely and do a little get up animation, but Karlson is all about speed, momentum and high octane gameplay, which is totally not an excuse so I don't have to make animations. Anyway, here it is in action, and you can now run into edges, and if you're close enough to the top, you will just slide up and keep going with your speed. It was pretty basic to implement, and here's really all the code we need for it. First, we just find the velocity of our player, then we do some raycasting to find possible landing positions, then we teleport the player if position is found, and also desync the camera to compensate for... Boring! Shut up, nerd! Oh, and you can now also bounce on enemy heads, like in Mario, because like Mario once said, roses are red, violets are blue, hey Goomba, fuck you. He never said that, actually. So on my Discord server, someone named Shep posted some really cool concept art for some weapons in Karlson. So, yoink, mine. Thank you, Shep. Danny sends his regards. Shep did a really good job though, and I think these weapon designs would fit Karlson well. It's just a lot of fun to implement ideas from the community into the game, so you guys are also part of making Karlson. Anyway, here's the result so far. I'm probably gonna make it more detailed at a later point and add actual textures, but I think for now this works fine. Also, for legal reasons, this is totally not an AK-47 because that would be illegal. In fact, this is the AT-48, which is completely different. Then I put it into the game, and here you can see the AT-48 in action. Yeah, it's pretty fun to play around with, and it's also very easy to add new weapons to Karlson because there is a pretty modular system in place already. And now it's time to make a new shotgun model, because the current shotgun looks like a piece of shit, so it kinda reminds me of myself actually. Anyway, get it out of here. So I started making a new shotgun model, still using Shep's concept art, and it turned out pretty cool. Here you can see it in game, and you can even shoot into the ground while jumping to boost yourself up, which is pretty fun to do. It's like a shotgun jump thing, because of recoil and physics and stuff, which is totally realistic. So to test the shotgun jump thing in action, I put together a quick map, Frick You Billy, where you have to boost yourself up to complete the level. It's pretty fun to play around with and opens up for a lot of fun and creative map designs, especially for the community to make when I add the map editor tool. I think it's also time to upgrade Billy a bit, because he is literally just a cube with a screen. So I made a brand new Billy model, and he's now still a cube with a screen, but with some more details. Also gamers, is it just me or is Billy looking kinda normal? Actually, he looks pretty normal to me. This new Billy model is inspired by concept art from Panda Sman on Reddit, which I thought was really cool. This fan art also makes Billy look really huge and fat, which kinda reminds me of your mom actually. Anyway, here's the new Billy in action. He's just as dumb as ever and you can bully him just as much, he just looks a bit better. And then I was like, wait, my game looks kinda bad, I wish it looked better. And then Unity said, what if I told you it could? Bruh. So I added reflections. Take a look in the mirror. What do you see? A dumbass. But the point is, that's a reflection. And it makes my game look very pretty, which is good. And it's very simple to add. You just put a circle boy in your map and boom, you have reflections. And also, is it just me or is Mirror Danny looking kinda thick? I'm just saying. Anyway, since the shotgun jumping was so much fun, I added some blue boys, which are inspired by B-hop maps I used to play on Counter-Strike Source. Basically, if you shoot them, you go whoosh, big jump, which also happens to be big fun. This can definitely be used to make some crazy maps, and it's just a lot of fun to play around with it. Speaking of maps, currently going between different levels is a bit weird since you're being teleported and it doesn't feel very authentic. In a game like, for example, Portal, which Karlson is very inspired by, you move between levels by using an elevator, but more importantly, you don't even notice that you enter a new level because the transition is so smooth. So I tried replicating this kind of system where you seamlessly move from one level to another. You can see it in action here, and there's only really 1 or 2 frames where you notice that the map is being swapped, and the implementation is actually very simple. All you need is a function for saving the state of the player, a function for loading, and whatever this is. Enumerator? What even is that? More like, I don't know what the f this is, get it out of here, you know what I'm saying? I wanna die. Anyway, if we just simply add some gates for the hallway, you now can't really tell that there's a transition anymore, even though we just teleported between 2 levels. This will make the game feel more whole, as if you're moving through an entire world instead of just randomly teleporting between maps, because that's kinda janky. Another thing we have to address is the Steam page for Karlson, smash wishlist by the way. It's a pretty tragic sight, and the trailer is absolute garbage. The fact that this is the 38th most wishlisted game on Steam is a goddamn miracle, and I'm pretty sure Steam hates me and have me on some sort of hit list or something. So it's time to pimp up the trailer, but a trailer needs music. So I hit up my boy and I was like, hey, I need some music. And he was like, okay, sure, here you go. And I was like, cool, thank you, guy. And he's uploaded a soundtrack to his YouTube channel with a cheeky exclusive karlson screenshot, and it sounds really good, so make sure you check it out, link in the description down below. Show him some love like I did to your mom last night, if you catch my drift. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the mom jokes now. Not really. Then I recorded all the footage I needed and got to work on the editing. Now the editing itself didn't take very long, but the sound design took a lot of time. Specifically for trailers, I think the sound design is extremely important, and here's a quick example of a normal clip with just music, which doesn't have a whole lot of impact. If we then just add a little blackout to the video, 2 little sound effects and a cut in the music, we get a much more appealing result. And after about 9 hours, the trailer is done, and you can see here why the sound design took so long. It's a goddamn mess. If you have headphones though, make sure you wear them when you're watching the trailer. Then I took more screenshots from the game, made some GIFs in After Effects, and put it all together in Steam, and here is the brand new page. It no longer looks like it was made by a 5-year-old, which is a good thing, and hopefully Steam put me off their hit list now. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep you waiting any longer. Roll the trailer.
Hello, Karlson. You're my prisoner and test subject. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding. Not really. This is your companion, Billy. Your only objective is to get to the milk as fast as you can. Well, good luck, and don't die. Let me introduce you to Billy's brother.
If you want to see the full uncut trailer, there's a link in the description down below to watch it on my second channel. So far I think karlson is coming together well, but there's still a lot of things to do, like adding a map editor, continuing the multiplayer, and finishing all the chapters for single player. But I'm feeling good about it, and I'm having a lot of fun working on karlson at the moment. One of the biggest issues right now though is I can't really show all the progress I make because I don't want to spoil the entire game for when you guys play it, which makes it hard to make these devlog videos. But if you want to see some more progress and clips and stuff, you can follow me on social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Skype, MySpace, RuneScape, you know the drill. Links down below. Get easy task. Even though if you don't, also subscribe for more wacky videos. And as always, die. Daddy, where new karlson devlog? One more karlson devlog. Daddy, where the hell is karlson? It's devlog time. It's been a little while since I made a video about karlson, and oh, you're wondering what karlson is? That's just a little game I'm working on, currently the 18th most wishlisted game on Steam, so smash wishlist now so we can get to the #1 spot and break Steam. Now in the last episode we added new weapons, made a trailer, and yeah. But this episode we're making some drastic changes. Oh, and a secret announcement later in the video. So karlson has just been a bean for a very long time. But today we go from bean to, well, still bean, but with arms. That's kinda cursed, man. Anyway, so I started off this devlog by just fine-tuning the movement a bit and adding various sound effects inspired by the game I made called Rerun. This just made everything feel a bit better. I also found this document about level design to help me make better levels. Should be pretty quick to read through. Let's see here. Only 127 pages. Well, I guess you leave me no choice. Notebook, Penny! And after reading through all of the pages, I am now a certified map designer. Check out Alex on Twitter, he's the man behind this monstrosity of a document. Thank you, Alex, very cool. So I set up a map containing all sorts of measurements and standards that I need for mapping. Now this is very useful for just blocking out maps and figuring out all of the distances. Now if you watched the previous devlogs, you would know I spent a lot of time baking lights. Sixth step. Oh boy, it's time to bake some lights. And as much as this pains me, I had to delete all of the baked lighting. Mainly because it only really slows map creation down and I want to work on gameplay and flow before graphics. So boys, can we get a moment of silence for our baked lights please? Now, since the dawn of time, you guys have been asking me to give Karlson arms, since currently he's just a bean using telepathic powers to make guns float in front of him. And so I started by making a hand model using Blender. Now, this hand is modeled after my own IRL hand, which is probably why it's so f***ed. Because my wrist is kinda messed up right now, so yeah. And here we have it in game. Yeah, perfect, looks very natural. So all we have to do now is just make a lot of animations for every single weapon, redo the entire weapon system code, as well as implement an inventory. Now this should be pretty simple. All we have to do here is use the... Boring! Shut up, nerd! So programming all of that was an easy task for an elite programmer like me, and it now works like a charm. Wait, what the f***? Okay, I fixed it up and it's now working, it's not working. And finally, we got it all set up. There's now animations, sound effects, and working weapons. You can pick up weapons, but only one at a time, since the sword and pistols are kind of like default weapons that can't be swapped. Now, the only problem is that the arm currently looks a bit garbage, but we'll fix that later, just like the rest of the game. Then I worked a bit on a crosshair customizer, as well as adding recoil. Now, recoil is basically just what makes your weapon go pow when you shoot. It's not finished yet, but we have some working recoil for now, which is inspired by the CSGO recoil system. Now, so far we have a sword, pistol, shotgun, and a rifle, but something is missing. Can you guess what it is? Yeah, you got it! It's a banana gun! So, as you all know by now, it's tradition to steal at least one of you guys' ideas every episode. Danny sends his regards. And Avocado Toast 69 made this banana gun concept art, so hippity hoppity, your gun is now my property, kiddo. So now we just need to make a banana gun model. Okay, so we got our banana, now we just need to like shove a magnum down there, which shouldn't take too long. And just like that, we have a banana magnum. Banagnum. Hey bro, you want a banana? Psych, that ain't no banana! Hey, did I mention only 25% of you guys are subscribed? You should totally subscribe, I'm just saying. Okay, time to make a new hand model that actually looks like a hand and not, not this. It took a little while, but we now have a much better looking arm. You can also move all of the fingers. Ow? And here is the result after texturing and setting everything up. Now, in my opinion, it doesn't really fit at all, it's just way too smooth looking. So I went back into Blender and gave it a more distinct poly look instead. I set up all of the textures, made a bunch of new animations, and here is the result of it all. I'm pretty happy with it, but let me know in the comment section if you like it or not. I asked on Twitter and it seems like the majority of you guys like it, but to be safe, I'm also going to add an option to disable the hand models completely. Because it seems like a chunk of you guys want that and it's more true to the classic Karlson style without arms at all. I'm going live right now and starting today, I'm gonna stream every single day until November is over to complete a challenge. So what's the challenge? What am I streaming? Of course some game development, Minecraft bitch! I'm gonna try and get on the top 100 leaderboard of speedrun.com to become one of the fastest gamers and prove I am indeed an epic gamer. You better watch your ass, drum. That was like a nunchuck banana. I'm also going to be battling Randall, and the one with the fastest speedrun at the end of November wins. The loser has to gift 100 subs to the winner, so I'm not gonna lose. Now, there's only one tiny little problem. I've played a total of like 10 hours of Minecraft in my life and never once actually beaten the game. I'm a complete noob. But don't worry, after all, I do have the Minecraft genes. They don't call me Square Danny for nothing. So go to twitch.com/DannyMilkman, follow me and watch me become the epicest of gamers. Anyway, I've also worked a lot on just designing and making maps. Now, this is definitely the most time-consuming part to making Karlson, which is why I've been working on a bit of a map editor lately. So with a good map editor, I can get help from others to making map layouts, which means I can speed up the progress by a lot. So right now I want to move a bit ahead and start working on the next part of Karlson, where you're escaping the facility. Now this means we need to add some enemies that are actually human and not just robots. And if you remember in the first Karlson 2D game, I added this guy which kinda looks like Dr. Disrespect. Now he's a red boy and I kinda fucking hate red boys. So I think he works well as an enemy. And so the first thing we have to do is make the actual enemy model in Blender. Of course, the most important detail here is his ass, and it looks kind of flat, so I'm just gonna go ahead and thick! Nice, we're done. Now we just give him some clothes and it's looking pretty good. I gotta say though, that is the most Chad chin I have ever seen. Someone told this man to be there or be square and he wasn't there. Actually looking like 2019 Danny when I was square. Why was my face square a year ago? I don't know. We don't really talk about that. Then we just do some UV unwrapping and some basic texturing and here he is in action. However, something is still missing. Boom! Also, what are those? My man out here with the Nike sneakers, dude, let's go! Anyway, now we just make him follow me, which is easy to code and works like a charm. Or not? Where are you going there, buddy? Okay, well, see you later, man. Then we just make him always look towards us, and when I say always, I mean always. And after pretending to be a helicopter for a while, he now works fine and will follow me as well as look towards me, but the T-pose is kinda scaring me. So to make him less scary, we are going to add some animations, and now he's just kinda straight up vibing. Can you stop, please? Then I made some particles using Unity's particle system, a system you can use for making. And we did this on stream actually, over at twitch.tv/DannyMilkman, link down below. Now to make the blood actually work when you shoot him, we can do some quick programming and... Seems like my my license is out and I can't do more programming. That's a bit of a yikes. Well, I guess we're going back to making some more maps. It takes quite a bit of time to make a map, and I also have to redesign all of the old levels because they are really poorly made and I have to fix them. But we're slowly getting there. I've started working on the second chapter though and getting some ideas around it. I've set up a big document with pretty much all of the story and a lot of planning, some mood boards and more. And yeah, we're just slowly but steadily making progress. But I'm having fun working on Karlson, even though it's so much more work than I ever thought it would be. Hopefully though, the map editor will speed up the progress a bit, since making maps is probably what takes me the longest. For now though, I'll be taking a little break from YouTube while streaming on Twitch, as I'm basically constantly working on videos and Karlson, and I just need to do something else for a little while. But don't worry, I'm still gonna upload on Danny 2 and Danny Clips, and if I actually manage to get a good Minecraft speedrun and also beat Randall's ass, I'll make sure to make a video about that. It's a bit random, I know, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, so make sure you tune in and join the stream to watch me go.
So that's all. So yeah, goodbye. Please like and subscribe.